Thin-skinned convicted felon Donald Trump is yet again ranting about the Fox propaganda network on Truth Social because they dared discuss a poll which shows him losing to Vice President Harris, with Trump going so far as to say that he prefers CNN to Fox. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have a couple of clips to look at in this video, but this is ridiculous. Donald Trump is so interesting. I hear so many people who are Trump apologists and Trump supporters and MAGA Republicans say that Donald Trump is so tough. He's so thick-skinned. He can take things that other people simply can't. He's superhuman. When the reality is that this guy is the biggest whiner and loser in American politics. So this is Trump ranting about Fox on Truth Social. Fox News will put up fake confidential Democrat polls that were leaked to them, not Rasmussen or any of the real polling groups that have me way ahead. What's up with Fox? I do better with CNN. And the thing he's ranting about is because at one point, at one 40-second interval on the Fox propaganda network, they dare discuss a poll which has Vice President Harris ahead of Trump. We're going to play the clip and unpack it together.
So as to whether or not Biden is the best candidate to go up against Trump, Ben Dixon and Amandi did some internal polling that Politico got access to. Trump beats Biden 43-42, but in that polling, Kamala Harris beats Trump 42-41, and Clinton at the top of the ticket with Harris as the running mate beats Trump 43-40. So when you take a look at that internal information, is sticking with Biden the right way to go?
Well, those are within the margin of error, of course. It's amazing that Democrats are so desperate. They think they have to bring back Hillary Clinton to leapfrog over Kamala Harris for the nomination and have her to stay.
Hey. So Donald Trump watched that clip and was so offended by it that he yet again, this isn't the first time, by the way, that he yet again felt the need to put Fox on blast. And I'm not here defending Fox, by the way. I mean, I think it's hilarious when Trump and the Fox propaganda network fight each other. But just as a kind of take myself out of partisan politics there, I'm thinking to myself, why? They clearly have nothing but contempt for Democrats, right? Katie Pavlik and John Roberts there, discussing this poll. They're almost mocking it. They're belittling Democrats. They're trying to belittle President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Hillary Clinton. They're taking no joy in it in the sense that there's this idea that these Democrats could potentially beat Trump. As a matter of fact, Pavlich said, the polls are within the margin of error. So they're belittling Democrats and trying to defend and carry water for Trump, but that in and of itself is insufficient. The fact that they even acknowledged a poll which shows Donald Trump losing to anybody is inconceivable to him. It is unacceptable to him. Now, they're talking about, again, they mentioned the Politico article, poll finds Biden damaged by debate with Harris Clinton best position to win. A top Democratic pollster has a new survey showing President Biden still in contention against Donald Trump, but at further risk of losing the election, with other leading Democrats now surging ahead. The national poll, conducted and commissioned by the firm Ben Dixon and Amandi after President Biden's politically disastrous debate. Of course, again, nobody covers the fact that Donald Trump also had a disastrous debate. People didn't walk away flocking to Trump. As a matter of fact, the initial polls indicated that a majority of Americans still felt that he was unfit for office. He has gained very little, if nothing, with independent voters and the voters that he needs to win re-election. It's just that President Biden has lost support. I digress. We've talked about the asymmetry. Found Biden trailing Trump 42% to 43%, again within the margin of error, 1 percentage poll down. But they mentioned that Vice President Harris is now running ahead of Trump in this poll, 42% to 41%. And former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the 2016 nominee, is slightly ahead of Harris. Clinton leads Trump 43% to 41%. So again, this is one damn poll, but it's enough for Trump to flip his lid like this. Folks, this is just proof that this man is incapable of conceit. He's such a malignant narcissist. He can't handle 40 seconds of an acknowledgement of a poll that the analysts in question belittled and mocked because they love him, and they are otherwise a reliably, profoundly loyal network to him in ways that the mainstream media simply is not for President Biden, as we've discussed in previous videos. But he's so offended, he says he prefers CNN. And by the way, if I'm working for CNN, I'd be thinking to myself, why would Trump say that about me? Perhaps my coverage as CNN is unjustifiably favorable of Trump or unjustifiably critical of President Biden. Food for thought. And to put some other things in perspective before we look into Trump's other statements, calling out the Fox Propaganda Network for just acknowledging things that are inconvenient to Trump, I just want to show you, just give you a snapshot. This clip I'm about to show you, it's about 2 minutes long, was put on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I saw it and I was just stunned. This is a commercial that aired on the Fox Propaganda Network.
This $2 bill features President Trump's mugshot. Donald J. Trump makes history once again by becoming the first former president of the United States to ever be criminally indicted. The powers that be have made good on their threats to get him by indicting him 4 times. On Thursday, August 24th, 2023, President Trump was formally arraigned in Fulton County, Georgia, and this moment in history created the first mugshot of a United States president. In the photo, President Trump displays a furrowed brow and a determined gaze, showing he's ready to fight. He says he will never surrender. Whether or not you are a supporter of the 45th president, there's no doubting the historic importance of this photo. That's why National Collectors Mint has taken crisp, uncirculated U.S. legal tender $2 bills direct from sealed Treasury packs, then enhanced them to commemorate this event. The mugshot seen round the world is front and center in the portrait oval.
And it goes on like this. So this is what the Fox Propaganda Network is playing. This weird culture stuff where they're like altering legal tender to anoint Trump in a really grossly religious way. I digress, but they do that and they're insufficiently loyal to him. And he's so it's so incompatible, so hard to fathom. I'll remind you that prior to the debate, the Fox Propaganda Network, which, by the way, believe it or not, is a top-rated pollster. They have pretty good polls, even when they go against President Biden. And prior to the debate, they did put out a poll which had President Biden leading Trump. And this is how Trump reacted. This was on June 20th. Fox News polls are always the worst for me. They have been from the beginning and always will be. When the Fox Propaganda Network had Paul Ryan, the former Republican Speaker of the House who worked with Donald Trump when he was president, when they made the mistake of interviewing Paul Ryan, who is no longer in politics, by the way, about politics, and Ryan was critical of Trump, acknowledging that Trump's a malignant narcissist and an authoritarian and ideologically inconsistent, a populist with no sort of actual philosophy. This is how Trump responded. Nobody can ever trust Fox News, and I'm one of them. With the weak and ineffective rhino, Paul Ryan, on its board of directors, he's a total lightweight, a failed and pathetic Speaker of the House, and a very disloyal person. Romney was bad, but Paul Ryan made him look worse. As a team, they never had a chance. Rupert and Lachlan, referring to Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch, who are the head of News Corp, the parent company of Fox News, get that dog off your board. You don't need him. All you need is Trump, make America great again, in all caps. And there's some other things I just randomly pulled up. Again, this is from September of last year. Again, Trump ranting about Fox. Why won't Fox show the national poll that they just did? They refused to put it up even after spending all that money. Show the poll. If they don't show it, I'll put it up later. Fox paid a fortune for a big poll, and then when the results came in, they showed backup information, but barely showed the results, that I was leading Ron DeSanctimonious by almost 50 points and beating Crooked Joe. Bret Baier put it up immediately, but then it all went dry. Could it be possible that Fox talent was instructed not to use their own poll? Again, just indulging in these conspiracy theories. Why doesn't Fox News or the globalist Wall Street Journal put up tremendous polls that are being released daily showing I'm up on their candidate, Ron DeSanctimonious? So this is just part and parcel of who Trump is. But I want to remind you, Trump is a loser. He may win this election. He may. It's entirely possible. I'm not ruling that out. But Trump won in 2016 because of the Electoral College, affirmative action for Republicans. He lost the popular vote by 3 million votes against Hillary Clinton, an historically unpopular candidate. Trump was even less popular. He lost the 2018 midterms. The Republicans did under his watch or on his watch. He lost the 2020 presidential election. He lost the 2021 Senate runoffs, again on his watch. They lost the 2022 midterms. They lost the 2023 off-year elections. And even with all the things going right now, it's still a relatively tight race between President Biden and Donald Trump, with so many advantages that he has in the media. I'm not a prophet. I don't know what will happen in the future. Again, it's entirely possible that, God forbid, Trump will win. But this guy has lost so much. You would think that over time, just through sheer adaptation, just existing in the space, that he would have thicker skin than this. And yet he remains the ultimate snowflake. Let me know what you think in the comments.